Alright, let us take a look at the syllabus here. So this lecture, this video will be right underneath here. Let's jump to the syllabus so you understand the way I've written it. So let's go for it here. So Math 64 is the class that we're in. It is a combination of elementary algebra and intermediate. Pretty much just Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 combined together. We go very, very quickly, and we go through this so that you are prepared to take your transfer level math class. The textbook here is given already right here, and the question always comes up is, do we need a physical textbook in our hands? The answer is no, you don't need a physical textbook because there's an ebook already provided with the publisher once you gain access to it's called the xyzhomework.com site, or XYZ textbooks, the publisher, what we're going to use for you to turn in your homework is going to be, there's going to be already an ebook there. So my name is Arkady Hunjiev. I will hold 2 1-hour office hours for this class, and once it's scheduled I will be sending that out on email. My office number is given, my email is given, so you need to contact me. Go for it, please. Alright, catalog description here just pretty much just says it's going to be the 2 algebra courses combined into one. A course objective, this is what we're covering right over here. We're covering all these 11 topics, so once we finish up you should be a master at all these right here. Student learning outcome, you will have a student learning outcome exam. Just to give you an idea here, this is created by the math department at West Hills College. We got together, we pretty much just said these are the 4 super basic things that you should know in order to go on to the next level, as well as this is the core. So can you graph a line? Can you factor? Can you solve equations? That's kind of pretty much it. There's your sort of fundamental things here, and so you'll be taking an exam on this towards the end of the class. Institutional learning outcomes are things that you should kind of think about as if you're taking any class at West Hills College, all classes will line up underneath one of these sort of 7 headings, and so we call them the themes of learning. Alright, on to the stuff for this class, and attendance, here it is, I'll read it to you here. So initially you will need to email me that you want to stay in the class on the first day of class. Also, as we looked at, if you saw the previous video, you need to tell me if you want to be in the support class or not be in the support class. One of those has to happen here. So email me saying, yes, I do want to be in the NC 201 C01 class for extra support, or tell me, yes, I still want to stay in the Math 64 class, but I don't want to be in the support class. So we'll go from there. Alright, the other thing that you need to do is, if you do not have an XYZ homework account, you need to set one up by Wednesday of the first full week. And so I will do a separate video on that as well to show you what that is. Alright, so on to the next stuff here. Throughout the semester though, if you are not going to complete 6 homework sections, or you skip the midterm, particularly if you really skip the midterm, that means you're not showing active progress in the class. It is grounds to drop you, but that does not mean that I will drop you. So if it's something that you want to do, you want to drop the class, you should drop the class yourself. But if you're not making effort in the class, then I will probably email you once, maybe twice, and if there's just no response whatsoever and there's no extra work in the class, then I will then be most likely dropping you. Alright, on to the lectures. So I've built this out from previous math classes here, and I've sequenced them. So let me jump to the YouTube channel real quick here. Alright, here is, I am on YouTube here, and what you're going to do is you're going to search for Math 4B, Math 4B, click on that. You're going to find this little square with a big M inside it. There's 183 videos as of now. And you're going to click on it, and there's going to be several playlists here. The one that we're going to look for, if you want to click on playlist right here, the one that you want to find is, it's going to say Math 64 lectures. There it is. That's for this class. Now if you want to go through the playlists feature, what's going to happen is they're going to put them all in order. So what I did is I did put in chapter 0 inside here, but chapter 0 is optional. You don't have to go through these videos. But real quick here, they are a good review of pre-algebra if you want to just sort of have it there. So if you want to view them just for the sake of just reviewing, if you haven't done math for a long while, maybe that would be a good way just to kind of view them. It's going to be what, about 4 hours worth of videos there. Alright, we are going to start the class right here in chapter 1, section 1. So when you click on it, here is your videos for the class. Now let me talk about this real quick here. So Math 64 is really just a combination of two different classes: elementary algebra or algebra 1, intermediate algebra, algebra 2. And so even though it says 2.1, that's going to be from the previous math class here. So what you want to do is you want to just make sure your titles are correct right over here. So this is Math 64, chapter 1, sections 1, 2, and 3 lecture. And so then I kind of put in the old, this is the old one, it's Math 61, which is the elementary algebra class. It was chapter 2, sections 1, 2, and 3. So I combined them, but you want to be looking at the Math 64 titles as you go through them. So what I've done, this is my lectures that I've done in the classroom itself. You might hear some questions from students. You might hear me interacting with students. I'll wait and pause for students to finish up. And so this is a way for you just to continue lecture. I would say view the videos, write down things, try the problems before I try them, and just treat it almost like a little classroom, a virtual classroom you're having with by yourself. After you've viewed the video, then you can go on to the homework. So that's the way I sort of envisioned this happening here. So back to the YouTube overview here. So Math 4B is what you want to get to, and then you want to get to the M64 Math 64 lectures along the playlist. Students have said this has been the best thing in the online class. It is a way for you to go through the material by yourself. You can pause me as I'm doing the lecture. You can try the problem ahead of me, and you can rewind and do the problem again because you didn't understand it. This is by far, I get the most amount of positive feedback in regards to the fact that I already have lectures set up already. So please take the time to view them. This is where you're going to learn the math content in this class. Alright, the other flip side is the homework. So you will be turning in homework through this website, which is integrated into Canvas already. So after you watch the videos, if you want to read the ebook as well, that's fine too, if you are want to do that. Then you go on to do the assignments, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. The only thing I want to mention the syllabus here is the chapter 0, which has a due date of 8/15, which is Thursday, is optional. You don't have to do chapter 0. It is a review of pre-algebra. Unless you haven't seen pre-algebra for a long time, don't do it. If you want to refresh yourself, go for it. Okay. Then there's also something called the intro. It was like an intro to XYZ homework. It is due on the 16th. That one is required for you to do. Alright, it is actually a tutorial, and I just misspelled, just saw that I just misspelled that. It's really a tutorial of how to put in homework answers and what the computer system recognizes. So it's a good one. It is required. It is part of your grade, but it's really just a tutorial how to do the inputs. Alright, you will have discussion boards from time to time. I think I've set up 7 in the class. I may set up a little bit more And this is a time for you to sort of reflect upon your learning, get some suggestions of other people, think about your learning of mathematics as a whole, and then maybe a few little sort of math technical stuff in there too. Alright, Slo exam, as I mentioned earlier, that'll be towards the end of the class period, and I will tell you, I'll give you more information about it as we get closer to that date. You do have proctored exams here, so you'll be coming in a proctored setting and taking the midterm exam as well as the final. It is roughly set up now for the first or second week of October. I'm trying to pinpoint the time, date, and classroom setting for that. Once that is done, I will give you more information. Hopefully I'll do it by next week. Final, the same thing. That actually is during finals week, so that's given, but what day it's going to be, what time, I will give you that more specific information as well. Alright, so let's talk about coming in for a proctored exam. So if you live more than 70 miles away from Kalinga, from the Kalinga campus, you can take your exam somewhere else. So if you live close to Visalia, you can take it at COS. If you live in Fresno, you can take it at Fresno City College Assessment Center. If you live out of state, you can. I don't expect you to fly in to Kalinga and take a proctored exam. But what you need to do for me is you need to notify me that you'll be taking it and with the location that you. So you need to do some quick work here and where you're going to be taking your exam. Alright, if you live less than 70 miles away, you still have to tell me in the email if you're going to come into Kalinga to take the test there. So we can do that. Alright, the only disclaimer here is that if you live next to Firebaugh, if you're a Firebaugh student and you're taking this because this was convenient for your school schedule, I need you to go to the front desk, set up an appointment if you want to take the test there, so you can take the test at the Firebaugh Center. They have set up a place in the library for proctoring online classes here. Alright, but please take care of it very soon. Hopefully in the first 2 weeks of start of class you know where you've made the arrangements and you go from there. So contacting the instructor here, just some general guidelines here. General questions about the class, just email me if something was not clear on the syllabus. If I get one, or if I get 2 or 3 people asking the same question, I will send an all class email out. Then I do have, it's called synchronous help, which means I'll get online and you can talk to me. We can interact in a virtual environment, and that is called office hours. So go for that. The other one is if you are working on homework questions and you're just stuck. You've tried it once, you've tried it twice, and you're just stuck, you can post this question to the forum. So on the homework you do have 5 tries to get the correct answer. And if you are on try number 3 and it's just still not working, maybe you're putting in the correct answer, post that question to the forum, explain a little something. I think I'm getting this right, but I am not sure why it's kicking me out. Go for it. Alright, about the online office hours, still setting that up, still need to approve it with admin here, so once that is set up I will email you, and I'll email links to the virtual office hours roughly about the second week of class, so we should be taking care of that. The important things here are the drop date. So this is a full semester class, so the last day to add this class is 8/25, so August 25th. So the last day really in a sense to add or to drop this, so it's never seen on your record. If you go past October 25th midnight, then this class is going to be on your record, on your transcript. It's officially, in a sense, part of your academic history. Alright, then towards the end of the class, in November 15th, if you understand there's no way I'm going to pass this class, this is not for me, you have to drop that class by that day. If you're enrolled after that date, there will be a letter grade that has to be given at that point. So this is kind of like your W drop date for the class. Alright, and my disclaimer here is that the obligation rests on you to drop yourself from your course when you no longer wish to attend. If this is not something for you, please make sure you're the one doing it. So the scoring rubric here is a weighted scoring rubric. So the online homework is worth 20% of your overall final grade in the class. The discussion posts are worth 10%. Slo Exam is worth 10%, the midterm is worth 30%, and the final is worth 30%. There's a little disclaimer upon the midterm and the final, is that you do have to score an average of 70% between your midterm and final in order to receive a C in the class. So for example, if you score 80, but you average 65% between the midterm and final, you will get a D in the class. You will not pass. If your overall score is 80 and you average 75 in the class, then you will be given your average score. So this is really just to make sure there's no people cheating that have maybe someone else doing their homework for them, but then when they come in to take the midterm, they just bomb it completely because they don't know the material. Alright, and part of that is the whole concept of conduct in the class. So if you are doing something that is dishonoring or forbidden by school regulations, or taken away from the educational experience of other students here, I will maybe email you, or I'll drop you from the class. Okay, and then just a few other things here. At West Hills College we have a lot of support services, and just to give you a few here, I just kind of wrote them down. All these are different support services that we offer. So if you think you qualify for any one of those, maybe veteran services or upward bound program because you're part of it earlier on or when you were in high school, go for it. See if there's many different benefits, from just free textbooks or a voucher for textbooks that are given, or a certain tutoring schedule that you can be a part of. So take the time to learn about these resources and see if those will benefit you. One particular one that I want to mention is Disabled Student Program and Service. It's called the DSPS program. So if you have a learning disability, please take the time to call this number. They will set up an exam, and if you qualify, then you'll have some accommodations for you. Okay, if that is the case, please do so within the first 2 weeks of class. It makes no sense if you're halfway through the class and you walk up to me or email me and saying that you have a learning disability. By then it'll be too late. Underneath the syllabus, well, final disclosure is that I have rights to slightly change this, and really the only time I would change it if there was just total emergencies. Never had to, in previous years, had to change my syllabus. Alright, underneath here is just a list of due dates all the way down. And now that there's the introduction, XYZ homework, but if you need a list of when things are due, there they are. I also have a PDF version I'll show you as well. Alright, until we reach the final, all the way over here. Alright, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully that was clear. If you have any further questions about the syllabus, something that did not make sense to you, please email me, and I will, if I have 2 students or more that are asking the same question, that means I was not very clear in the syllabus, and I will send out an all-class email clarifying those questions for everybody else. Thank you so much.